to support our transition to hybrid, which will begin actually on Friday. So the lighting in my office is a little weird right now, so my apologies. But we are actually here at the Miles Park School preparing to open up our school. All right, so it is promptly 9:30 a.m. Today is Tuesday, March 9th, 2021. This is our Mounts Park parent orientation for our students that will be in hybrid learning, as well as the families that will continue with remote learning for the remainder of our school year. Parents, I do want to just stress that you do have the option to make your final decision by March 19th. So I do want to stress that to you as you listen to our parent orientation today. So you do have the choice to keep your child in hybrid, or you can have your child to be in remote. So at this time, we can continue with our virtual norms. Please make sure that all of our microphones are muted because it'll help with the clarity of you being able to hear everything that I am stating today. As well as making sure that we stay kind of time on task, because I know that some people are at work or have to get ready to shoot out the door. All of our students right now that are in preschool through fourth grade should actually be doing independent work at this time, so that we can make sure all of our families are on, as well as our teachers, just in case you had a specific question for them. So this morning meeting should take no longer, I would say maybe in 30 minutes. And we have all of our pre-K through fourth grade teachers actually on this session. So Mr. Brown will actually be monitoring, Ms. Way will be monitoring the chat for me. So if you do have any questions, go ahead and type that in the chat. But at the end of our orientation today, we will have about 15 minutes to give you the opportunity to ask individual questions. All right, we're ready, Mr. Brown. All right. So once again, please make sure that your mic is muted. This will be recorded. This also will be placed on all of our social media. If you do not have access to the chat and you're just listening on your phone, you can use our Miles Park website and email Christine.Wade@Cleveland Metro Schools, and we'll make sure that we respond to your question, just in case you're not able to put it in the chat today. I'm sorry, I just was speaking all that time and I was muted. All right, so let me state this again. Please make sure that your mic is muted. We are recording this. All of our information is on our Miles Park website. If you have any questions that you may have during the session, please use the chat. If you're not able to access the chat, you can email Christine.Wade@ClevelandMetroSchools.org, and we definitely will respond to your question within 48 hours. Okay, we're ready, Mr. Brown. So our top priority at Miles Park School and across the district is that we want to make sure that everybody that is physically here in the building is healthy, safe, and making sure that they are able to develop a very positive relationship with their teachers. We believe in excellence and learning. We're making sure that we are providing the students the best opportunity to academically be successful. Okay. Successful. We'll make sure that we are supporting our scholars, staff, and families as they adapt to this new method of changing with teaching and learning. I know that this was a big shift, the first 3 marking periods to just be in remote. You kind of feel as if you have it down, and now we're shifting to another type of learning. But we have all of our teachers all in. We have our students and families that want to be in partnership with our hybrid learning, making sure that we're ongoing going to provide you information to support your child and to make sure that they have the most success when they are physically here in the building, as well as they continue with their remote. Okay. So families are given 3 different options here in CMSD. You can keep your child in hybrid, which means that they will come to school for 2 days, and then the other 2 days, they will have remote learning from their classroom teacher. The second option is they remain in remote. That's what they have been in the first marking period, the second marking period, and right now they are in remote. The district also offers a virtual academy. There are not classroom teachers that they would meet with Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday like we normally do. They actually have assignments that are already posted in that academy, and the students complete them on a self-paced basis. And they give feedback to the students. They also monitor their progress if this is a third option that you will want to consider. Okay. I'm going back to where I started off saying at the very beginning. If you would like to first try hybrid and see if your child likes it, or you would like to remain in remote, please make sure that you make your final decision no later than March 19th. That is the deadline, and that's a hard deadline, simply because we have to make sure that all of the class sizes are equitable for all students in their learning, as well as we have a classroom capacity that can be inside of the classroom in order to keep everyone safe. So you could either call Miles Park School and state, I would like my child to stay in hybrid, or you can call Miles Park School and say, I would like my child to be in remote. And what you would do is you would tell Ms. Harris, which is our school secretary, she would take your information down. You have to have a email address, and we would submit that information on your behalf. And from that, what will happen is that you will get an email confirmation based on whatever email that you provide us. And then you have to click, this is what I want my child to receive for the remainder of the school year. If you don't click that button, nothing changes in regards to if your child is able to be in remote. So it's very, very important. You must make your decision by March 19th, which is actually next Friday, not this Friday, but next week, Friday. Okay. So we have a 3 phase in process. This coming Friday, we have phase 1, where we will have our students that have disabilities. It's a special targeted group that will be coming in order to come to school Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. These classrooms that will be coming in at that time will be Miss Dorsey, Miss Brown Boyer, Miss DePlaga, Miss Clark, Miss Wheeler, and Miss Spencer. Those are the only 6 classes that will be coming here on Friday, March 12th, beginning promptly at 8 a.m. to have their first in-person learning day. After Friday, for phase 1, they will continue coming Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday for the remainder of the school year. In phase 2, we will have preschool through 2nd grade. That is the hybrid model, where they will come to school for the first 2 days, and then the other 2 days will be in remote. And then I know right now you're asking, well, how do I know that? I didn't get the guidance coming to my home. We will talk about that just a little bit in the presentation, but I just want to make sure everybody knows specifically which phase their child is in. So phase 2, which begins Monday, March 15th, is preschool through 2nd grade. In phase 3, which begins March 22nd, that is grades 3rd through 8th grade. And we have this on the screen. I'm not going to read to you word for word, but I wanted to give you an overview. So this Friday, once again, is phase 1. The specific teachers' classrooms that I named, that is who reports to Miles Park School on this coming Friday. Phase 2 begins preschool through 2nd grade, and that begins on Monday, March 15th. They have 2 days in and 2 days in remote learning. The following week, which is March 22nd, 2 days in and 2 days in remote. If your child is in remote because you have selected that option, your child still would have the same similar schedule. They will have 150 minutes of learning, which I will talk about a little bit more, but their per se week would not change. They still will have classes on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday if you chose the remote option. And this information also is on our CMSD website. So some important points of contact for you, which at this time, I believe everybody has that, but I think it's very important that you have this information. Myself, Tamika Taylor Ivory, which I am the building principal, and you probably receive millions of either my text messages or IVRs. We have Christine Wade, which is our assistant principal. We have Anthony H. Brown. He is our Dean of Engagement and Culture. We have Mr. Hill, which is our Say Yes coordinator. He's the one that connects us to outside resources, as well as those learning pods, or if your child needs Applewood services. We have our VILS coach, which is Ms. Helber. We have Ms. Petrus, which is our Project Act coordinator. And of course, our school secretary, Ms. Harris. I've also posted this in Seesaw as well as in Schoology. Some important points of contact if you need support from the district. The previous screen provides you points of contact specifically to Miles Park School. One thing that is very important as we get ready to transition into hybrid or continue with remote, I know that our numbers and sometimes our addresses change. We need to make sure that we have a current, your information, your point of contact information available for us, whether it's the email has changed, your telephone, your address has changed, or who you would like to have contact with your child at school. Information on who we can give information about your child. We just need to know that if it has changed since the beginning of this school year. So now that we're transitioning back to hybrid, as well as if you're going to remain in remote, our school hours will be changing for both. We will go back to what they call is our pre-COVID Miles Park Bell schedule. So our school hours will be from 8 a.m. to 2:15. And when I say 2:15, because in person, that is when we begin dismissing students to go to the bus to be picked up from daycare or from their parent if they have to catch the RTA bus, or they'll begin walking home. So that's why I said that is the school hours. That begins our dismissal process. It is very, very important that you understand you must have an appointment in order to come into the building. We can't just have our parents to come physically into the building and walk around the building. Parents will not be able to do that due to COVID-19 protocols. When you do come to the building because you do have an appointment, and that's for any visitor, not just our parents, our community members, any visitors, anybody was delivering packages to our school. In order for us to keep everyone safe, we must follow the COVID-19 screening. We must be social distance, and you'll see that outside of the building as well as all throughout the building. all the signage, 6 feet distancing, room capacity. It may have the mask, like an example of a mask being worn. In the office, so when you do come, you need to know that there's only 3 visitors that can be in the office at one time. And if there's already 3 visitors in the office, our security will be telling you you'll need to wait at your car or outside of the building and standing at the designated markers outside of the building so that we maintain our 6 feet of distancing. Also, we cannot have any food, outside food delivered to our students here at the school building. And if you need to meet with your scholar, please call the main office. We will have the scholar to come down to the main office and allow you to meet with them at that time. For families that have been with me, the procedure will not change for early dismissal. You have to pick up your child prior to 2 p.m. and you must call prior to 2 p.m. The reason for that is teachers are making sure that they're recapping what they taught for the day. They're also making sure if they're sending home any home messages that all students receive that, as well as making sure that our building is locked down, secured, and that all kids are accounted for. So if they need to walk home, if they need to be picked up by the daycare, or if they're riding the yellow bus, we know exactly which bus they need to go on, and that they will make sure that they get onto that bus and make sure that they're able to meet you outside so that you can pick them up. So we make sure at 2 p.m. from 2 to 2:15, families cannot come into the building. Students cannot be dismissed to go out to cars or to begin walking. All of this must take place prior to 2 p.m. One other thing that is going to be very important, I know we usually do a lot of celebrations for birthday parties. If we still were in school for Valentine's Day, and when we usually have like a spring fest, we're not going to be able to do that this year due to COVID protocols and keeping everybody safe. And we're not going to be able to do field trips. All of our field trips will have to be virtual. So I'll give you a moment to look at this screen here. Very, very important. We cannot know, I always have parents that want to volunteer and help me out at the school building. I appreciate that. But at this time, due to the state that we are in and keeping everyone safe, parents, guardians, visitors, volunteers will not be allowed inside of the building to go to classrooms. You won't be able to walk your child to the classroom, go and visit a teacher at a classroom. You're not going to be able to do any of that for the remainder of this year. Our goal always to keep everybody safe, making sure that your child is safe and reducing the amount of exposures that children come in contact with. So arrival and dismissal, I kind of went over that a little bit. So our school hours are 8 to 2:30, but we begin dismissing at 2:15. The office will be open at 7:45. Now you can call the office and leave a message and we'll begin checking messages about 7:45, especially if your child is going to be absent or late to their in-person day. If it's the remote day, or if you are a remote family, then you can still use our same procedure. You contact or email the teacher, let the teacher know, my child will not be in today. They're sick, or they're having you're having some personal issues. That procedure will not change if you're remaining in remote, or even if your child is on their remote days, that does not change. However, if you're doing the hybrid, which is the 2 days in person, that is when the office will open up for someone to answer the phone, as well as the building for students to enter the building will not be until 8 a.m. I just spoke about pickup, which being at 2 p.m. And this is our dismissal time, so that you are aware. These were our pre-COVID dismissal times. So it may take just a tad bit longer until we kind of get a rhythm going, since we have not been in school over a year. So we just got to make sure that we kind of keep the pace of like every 5 minutes of our transition. But just so that you as a parent know, if your child is coming here, our first dismissal is at 2:15, which is our bus riders, and everybody will come in and exit out of the same entrance, which is the very front of our building. They will not be permitted to go out the sides of the building. Everybody has to come in and exit out of the main entrance, which is the front of Miles Park School. So if you are a bus rider, you will be picked up on the Miles Park side. That's the yellow bus rider. If you are a car rider or daycare pickup, we always have you on the 93rd side for parents to be able to pick up their kids. That's where they'll walk to. And then our walkers will go out the front door as well, but on the rotation, or if you want to say phase in, the 215, 220, and 225. All right, in regards to transportation, I'll just let Mr. Brown hit some of those key pieces because he will be the person that will be over the transportation.
Yes, good morning, everyone. It is a pleasure to, hold on, let me make sure I got my camera on. I apologize. Am I on? I think so. Okay, awesome. So again, good morning, everybody. Again, I'm Mr. Brown, and just to let you all know about our RTA tickets for those, mostly it'll be for middle school students who will be getting those tickets. You will need to make sure that they need to see me. I know this probably doesn't apply to some of the targeted audience that we're speaking to right now, but if you have any older students who are in middle school, there'll be a sign-off sheet to make sure I hand deliver them. I'll probably do it sometime during their lunch period or something of that nature. And for all those other students who are on the yellow bus, we're just doing some check and balances just to make sure we got everybody who's supposed to be on the bus. We'll have a space where we'll be doing a check off to make sure those students are there. And they'll be doing a separate call for students at the dismissal time to make sure that those students are being called to be put on the bus at the certain times so we can make sure that those who are being transported, we receive them properly and we got them up back on the bus properly to make sure everybody's scholar gets back home safe. That's our ultimate goal, is to make sure everyone's safe and sound. For any students that need to be picked up, all students need to be picked up by 2:30. So if you got some students that are going to be, waiting for my mom, my dad, my caregiver, my daycare, or whatever the case may be, please make sure they are picked up no later than 2:30 p.m. And after 2:30, then we may have to go through some other necessary steps. And you don't want us to have to go through those extra steps because sometimes, we've been in places and spaces in other buildings where we've had to take your child elsewhere. And, that means that it's inconvenience for the parent because now you got to go cross town and pick up your child. And we don't want to do that. We'll make sure that, if you got arrangements, because there's no after school programming. So it's not like they can just sit after school. There's no staffing available. There's no one to monitor, things of that nature. This is a different time right now. So just kind of work with us for these next few months until we can figure out another game plan as the district rolls out some other strategies and protocols. But right now, all students have to be picked up by 2:30 if they're being picked up. If not, RTA student tickets will be given during lunch, and then we'll make sure all students will have a roster to make sure we know exactly what students are to get on the bus on any given day. All right, thanks.
All right. Okay, so the next part that we're going to talk about is what happens when your child arrives to school when we're talking about the safety protocols, the COVID protocols. Your child must have on a mask. We are going to do they're going to put their book bag on the, when they come, sorry, let me back up. When they come into the building, they're going to put their book bag on our table. Our security officer will check their book bag. When they're coming through our metal detector, they will have their temperature checked. If your child has a fever of 100.4, we will be calling you to pick them up from our COVID classroom. We have a secure location with a healthcare aide that will be in there from 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. But right away, if your child has a temperature of 100.4 and you know that before they leave home, they must stay at home for at least 24 hours without being given Tylenol. So I would say probably 2 days without giving Tylenol. They must not have a fever for 24 hours without being given Tylenol. If they have any of these symptoms here, they must stay at home for at least 24 hours as well. If there is we have protocols also that will be put into place from our healthcare aide that will provide you guidance in regards to if your child has been tested and has been confirmed that they do have COVID, and the district does have specific procedures for that, that all, no matter what building that you are at inside of CMSD, we must follow. And that information is right there on the CMSD website. But please make sure your child has a mask when they arrive here to school. Be prepared for them to put their book bag on our counter. Our security officer will check it. They will come through our metal detector and their temperature will be taken. After their temperature is taken, then they will move to their classroom so that they can have their breakfast. One other thing that a lot of families are asking, do we have to have uniforms? No, you do not have to have a uniform, but you must dress appropriately for school, meaning that we can't have our stomachs showing, see-through leggings. I guess that's a good way to put it. Can they wear jogging pants? Yes, they can wear jogging pants. There's nothing wrong with that. However, it must be school appropriate. It's just that but it's just not required. Before, when we used to do the white, blue, black button-up shirts, it's not required to have those. If they need to wear a t-shirt to school, they wear a t-shirt. We just want your babies to come to school and get an education. That's what we're looking at this time. Also, they need to make sure that they do have the book bag. The district is going to provide a book bag for all students. Students are required to bring their device to school in grades 1st through 8th grade every day. 1st through 8th grade, their devices need to come to school every day, and the type of book bags that they purchase for each individual student has a slot for them to put their device in, because we are not going to be using paper and pencil. Everything is still going to go through Schoology and Seesaw, and that information is right there on their device. So this here is also talking about the mask that I started off talking about on the last slide. Here for pre-K, which is considered one of our special populations, we do have a shield if you don't feel comfortable with your preschooler wearing a face mask at Miles Park School. So I do want you to know that. As well as in students in kindergarten through 8th grade, we will provide 3 masks, which will be included in their book bags when they do attend Miles Park School in person. So the question is, when in person, when does breakfast begin? So when we open our doors at 8 a.m., the students will come in once they go through our process of putting their books back down, temperature taken. They will do a grab and go breakfast, grab their milk, and then they will go directly to their classroom. And when they go to their classroom, that is when they will be eating their breakfast. And in the classroom as well for lunch, they will also be eating in that same location. Teachers will be moving, students will not be moving. We are trying to minimize as much contact with others or other groups of children as possible. So that will be the morning procedure. And then remote, it still will be the same procedure for these next 3 weeks. If you need to pick up a lunch and breakfast, remember it's included in the same bag. You can come Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. The procedure has not changed, and you can come between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. Except you're going to come to the front door instead of the back cafeteria where you've been coming all this time. So the next couple of slides, we'll kind of go through these quickly because I pretty much have already shared with you what that hybrid learning kind of looks like. where I said they would be in person for 2 days, and then the other 2 days they would have remote learning. And in some cases, the teachers may even have independent projects that the students are going to be working on as well for our hybrid. For our students in remote, the process does not change. It just may be a different time that the teacher is actually working with you, because our bell schedule goes to our pre-COVID schedule, which means our first period begins at 8 a.m. instead of 8:30. And our school day concludes at 2:30, whereas that before it concluded at 3 p.m. So that is the difference for remote compared to hybrid. When we look at 2 in and 2 out, remote is Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. We will have on the next slide some sample schedules. And I know some families are saying, well, hold on, Ms. Ivory, I don't have a copy of my child's schedule. So that you are aware, what will be happening is that your child's classroom teacher for phase 2, we'll start with phase 2, because that is preschool through 2nd grade, which will be starting next Monday. The classroom teacher will be calling you no later than Thursday. They will either leave you a message if you don't answer to give you clarifying information in regards to the procedures in their class, but specifically to tell you what 2 days your child is coming to Miles Park School. Okay, if it is different, at that time you said, hey, this is different than the sheet that I received from the district. It might be different. So that is the reason why I'm having each teacher to call each student's home beginning on Thursday for phase 2. So please make sure that you put your voicemail on, or you call the school and make sure we have a good number to contact you so that they can speak to you directly. So if you have any other specific questions about what your child may need or what's going to be happening on a daily basis, or just to be able to continue with that relationship with that teacher, that be prepared for that to begin on Thursday. They will call on Thursday, and if they didn't reach you or speak with you, they will follow up on Friday. So you will know by Thursday who is your teacher, who is your child's teacher, as well as even for remote, because more than likely they will have the same exact teacher. And we're doing teams of teachers. So you'll definitely have a classroom teacher that has, if you have 2 kindergartens, you'll be working with, your baby will work with 2 kindergarten teachers. It won't be my child is in kindergarten, now she has an 8th grade teacher. So I just wanted to clear that up for people. Once again, on Thursday, your child's classroom teacher, which pretty much our entire building has the same exact teacher, pretty much, will call you to confirm your 2 days your child is to be at Miles Park at 8 a.m., either on Monday and Tuesday or Thursday and Friday. If they don't speak with you directly on Thursday, they will follow up and call again on Friday. They don't hear from you, you will hear that voice message so that you know exactly what 2 days your child needs to be here at Miles Park School. Also, they will be able to confirm the bus if they ride the yellow bus. And if you had the question, does my child get RTA tickets or something like that, they will be able to provide you that information as well. So I kind of talked about the bell schedule for hybrid. Our school building opens up at 8 a.m. We have an 8-period day. Your child is considered tardy at 8:15. So if we already have everybody in the building from 8 to 8:15, your child is to come into the building, go through our COVID protocols, as well as also with our security officer, and then they will go directly to class at 8:15. That is when they must stop at the main office. They must get a tardy pass, and they take that directly to their classroom teacher. During that first period, when kids are eating their breakfast inside their classroom, just like we did SEL, the first 15, 20 minutes of our first period class, that will continue on with our SEL because we have the theme of the month. And at the end of first period, we will have our morning announcements for our in-person students. 8th period, so that you all know, because I know some families have reached out to me before, meaning prior to this. Miss Ivory, what happens 8th period? Because it seems like the class gets shortened if you start dismissing at 2:15. Once again, this is where we're preparing for students to go home. The teachers are recapping with the students what they learned that day, reminding them if they have any homework, any projects, and especially if this is their last day for their 2-day in person. So if they come here on Monday and Tuesday, and this is a Tuesday, they want to make sure students remember on Thursday and Friday, they have to get on their sessions with their teacher, and if they have any assignments that need to be completed. Each class period is 50 minutes. It's like 47, and you have a transition period. We will provide mass breaks during their lunch and recess. And then we do have bathroom breaks, which will be a AM schedule and a PM schedule, so that you are aware of that. In our remote bill schedule, once again, that's why I was saying we shift to our beginning school at 8 a.m. You need to be on no later than 8:15, okay? Because by then, the majority of our buildings should be in, meaning physically in person, should already be inside of their classrooms, as well as you'll be working with your remote teacher. So this gives you kind of 15 minutes back to adjust from our 8:30 start that we had, if you need to kind of grab your breakfast real quick to get ready for your SEL and your announcements from your teacher. And once again, your day would end just like our regular bell schedule here. The teacher will do recap at the end of the day with you, or your last period that you'll be meeting with them. Just like in remote, there's 150 minutes. You have ELA and math, and it rotates the science and social studies. So a teacher may give you a project to work on for science, or they may give you a project to work on for social studies. So this part here does not change. You're in remote, that's just where you're receiving your instruction, but the type of learning still is the same. The hours are still the same, except our bell schedule moves up a little bit. But it's 150 minutes with a live teacher. So I do want to stress that to you. And just like I said, here, your remote teacher will contact you. They will contact you. All right. Once again, I just talked about the safety, the COVID protocols that we have in place. All classrooms, buildings, our buses have all been reduced down to the number of kids they can have on a bus, unless they're they have a sibling on that bus. I think most of the buses have about 14 kids, and they sit pretty much every other seat. You must stay with that 6 feet distancing. You must have your mask on, and you must make sure that we'll have different temperature checkpoints that the students will have to make sure that they go through, as well as the adults. So I don't want you to just think, oh, this is all about what's happening to the kids. That is anybody that comes inside of Miles Park School. And sanitizing will be ongoing, and the teachers have their own, well, not that they brought their own, but the district has provided each classroom with an abundance of cleaning supplies, that if your child is not feeling comfortable at their particular desk, because they're not sharing desks, they have their own space within their desk where their book bag would be at, as well as their jacket, if you want them to wear a jacket or a hoodie or something like that. And if they brought any, I don't know, special reading books or something they wanted to bring with them, which they shouldn't, but you know, if the teacher permits it or something like that, it still is going to be only in their space, their desk space that they have. So I just wanted to share that with you as well. So what this is kind of, the two will kind of go kind of quickly hand in hand. What should the students expect, and what should the families expect? So if you see the words in red, that kind of gives you the key pieces. A high quality education. Students need to make sure they have their devices for grades 1st through 8th grade. They must have their device here at the building. For our pre-K and kindergarten, those need to stay at home so that you can do the activities the teachers want you to do from your home. There will be provided devices that will be on a cart that each of those classrooms will be actually utilizing. We will have a healthcare aide. We do have a care clinic here, and that's where the students would go if they had a temperature or they had exhibited those symptoms that were on that other screen. And once again, if your child has any of those symptoms, they must stay without Tylenol, must stay at home at least 24 hours. If your child has been diagnosed with COVID, there's a hotline that we need you to be able to call, but we also like you to notify the school so that if we have to follow the contact tracing protocol by CDC, then we need to be able to put that into place. The next one talks about families. And like I said, we're talking about the social distancing. We've decreased the bus sizes, bus schedules. There's multiple bus schedules. And of course, we're giving teachers face masks. We're giving our students face masks as well. We want to continue on with our two-way communication. That's why I even gave the example of calling the COVID hotline, notifying the school as well, but not just about the COVID part. We just want, is your child okay? Is your family need of any type of supports academically, social, emotionally, just period? How are you feeling about this whole process? Are we doing things going in the right direction, you know, as well? So we want to continue on with our two-way communication going through Schoology, our Seesaw, many our social medias that we have. We'll continue on with our family engagement activities. We will continue to have our different meetings to contact families to support them. We will also have another virtual parent-teacher conference, but remember, you don't have to wait until the parent-teacher conference in order to address any concerns that you may have, or just you're interested in something to meet with the classroom teacher. But two-way communication is very, very important in order for us to be successful here at Mounds Park School for the remaining part of the school year. The next slide, some families are asking, what type of supplies do you need to get? You don't need to get anything. Right now, this is what the school will be providing. They will be given 3 masks. They will be given a book bag. Students do not need to bring their own bottled water. They do not need to bring a thermos of any type because the water fountains have been closed off. We can't use it. That's a CDC guideline. We are going to provide a folder. However, the teachers have been communicating with most families through text, email, Schoology, Seesaw. So that's just a backup for you. We'll also send home like the emergency contact form, some of that information just so that you have it. But we are trying to go paperless as possible. So you may have to take a picture and send it to us so that we can upload it on your behalf. We will provide pencils, paper, and a new set of earbuds. Now, if you prefer for your kid to use whatever earbuds that you have at home, they need to be inside that child's bag in a plastic baggie with their name on it. But we are not responsible if they are lost by your child. That's why everything needs to stay in your child's bag. So I do want to stress that. We've already talked about the appropriate dress. We've talked about the schedule. Just, you know, think about putting on your refrigerator a family calendar of when homework assignments are due, and especially because sometimes we do forget. Okay. What are my 2 days my child in hybrid is supposed to come to school? So you want to make those big letters so that you don't forget, because families are not able to. So say, for instance, if my child is scheduled to come Monday and Tuesday, that doesn't mean that, and you missed your days, you thought it was on Thursday and Friday. You can't send your kid on Thursday and Friday. They can't come back until Monday and Tuesday of the next week. Because remember, we have to social distance. We're talking about room capacity. And we have specific days that kids are assigned to come to Mounds Park. That's why the teachers are going to call you. If you don't get a call by the end of the day, and please check your voicemail on that Thursday, because remember, they're going to follow up with you on Friday to make sure that you know which day of the week your child is supposed to come to school. I just need to stress to you, you can't just change your child's day. If they're assigned Monday and Tuesday, you can't send them Thursday, Friday, because we're going to call you and say you must come and pick up your kid. And I know that you're going to be at work and everything. You have to come and pick up your baby. You have to. Same thing if they're sick here at school, you have to come and pick them up. That's how we keep everybody safe. as well as we stay within the room capacities for each area in our building. This here, like I talked about the social emotional support, we do have Applewood here. So if your child needs support with Applewood, we do have the information here for you, and Mr. Hill can help assist you with scheduling that. We still do have learning pod spaces available if you need to have assistance with scheduling learning pods. But one thing that we want to say to families, when Mr. Hill calls you and schedules it, and a lot of this stuff is electronic, you have to fill out the packet. And a lot of them are only like maybe a page, couple drop down boxes. But if you don't fill it out, we can't assist with getting your baby enrolled at that particular location. Open Doors actually comes directly here to Miles Park and picks the kids up from Miles Park and takes them to the location on the opposite days of in-person learning. So that may be, and they're taking kindergarten through 8th grade. So if that's something that you want to consider, then I will reach out. You can call here to Miles Park School and say, hey, here's my telephone number. Can I get in touch with Mr. Hill so he can go ahead and get that expedited for you right away. Okay. We just have one more pretty much slide for you. I just want to remind, these are kind of like mark the dates for yourself. The end of the 3rd marking period is actually in pretty much was that this week. So really 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. That's the day before we go on spring break. Spring break is the end of March and the first couple days of April. So we only have this week, next week, and then the following week, which are our phase ins. Once we've done everybody phased in, meaning that we have the whole building here, preschool through 8th grade. Then we go on spring break and we come back. Everybody is coming to school at their designated dates as well as times. Remember, school is opening up at 8 a.m. Kids need to be standing outside of the building. We'll have designated areas. If you're a bus rider, if you're a car rider, if you're a walker, we'll have designated areas. We'll get you through the building into your classroom so you can have breakfast, have your learning take place, and then we will dismiss. If you are sick, please do not come to school. If you have a runny nose, and I know sometimes it's just allergies, but those are also symptoms, okay? They can't be in school with symptoms like that. We just can't take any chances right now. So this last part here, the teacher will contact you, like I said, beginning Thursday, our first phase in. These are the specific teachers that we have here, that those students will come to Miles Park this Friday at 8 a.m. They also will let you know what is your child's bus schedule if you're if you did not receive the transportation, if your child is on the yellow bus. And then remember, anything with transportation, you can call here and speak with our dean, Mr. Brown, and he can help assist you there as well. Our phase 2, that's our 2N. When I say AA and BB, that means if you're Monday, Tuesday, that's considered AA. Monday and Tuesday, you physically come here to Miles Park. On Thursday and Friday is your day that you're in remote. And then it's the opposite. If I'm a BB, that means that I'm in remote on Monday and Tuesday, and then I'm live here at Miles Park School on Thursday and Friday. Our Wednesdays, so that you are aware, Wednesdays are kind of what we have now. The teacher may do some independent things with your child, doing some tutoring, sight word practice, maybe some writing. But that is when you are doing nothing but independent study work. There's no live sessions on Wednesdays. That is when students should be working on exact path, as for ELA, as well as ST math. So do not expect, like, I don't want to use the words no homework, but that's their day for them to make sure that they did their, just say if they're in that, we'll use cohort B. I was in remote on Monday and Tuesday, so I need to make sure I got my work ready for my teacher when I come in person on Thursday and Friday. Or vice versa, I was here at Miles Park on Monday and Tuesday. I need to make sure I got that homework done so that when I'm on my live session with my teacher on Thursday and Friday, I'm ready to go. Okay, so I just wanted to make that clear. No one comes here to the school building on Wednesdays. Teachers won't be here on Wednesdays because they're doing deep cleaning of all the seats, tables, desks, any locations that we have here in the building. So teachers won't even be here on Wednesdays physically at the building because the custodians will be doing deep cleaning. And if you have any issues with technology, the procedure is still the same. You have to call the help desk to get tech support. They'll give you a ticket, and then they'll tell us here at the building what we need to do to support you. They'll either send us a device for you, and then we call you and say, hey, we have one available for you. But it's very, very important that when we do call you and we schedule an appointment for you to come, that you have to come at that time or that date, or at least just give us the courtesy to say, I can't come today. Can I schedule another date and time? And if we're available, then, we can make that concession for you. Okay. So last slide, it says at this time, we're going to open it up for one, let's look at the chat and see if we can answer any questions. And then after that, we will wrap up today's orientation. So let's see what we have here. All right. Families who wanted to remain in remote learning can do, okay. Speak with the enrollment you have to the 19th. And we also have here on the website, the CMSD website. So if anything, I didn't provide enough clarity for you on the CMSD website. If you click on that link that's in the chat, it will provide you some more guidance specifically in regards to our COVID protocol, scheduling, just the ins and outs of what hybrid or remote learning, or even if now we have a family that wants to consider doing that virtual school, you still can switch to the virtual. You just, whatever decision that you make, it has to be completed by March 19th. You can't change after March 19th. So the school would provide book bags for the laptop. That is correct. Ms. Austin, yes, all students will receive a book bag for them to put their device in and bring to school every day. That is correct. Students are by default sent to return. Who needs to call if you want to opt out? So students are by default set to return. Yes, that is correct. So for clarity, if you want your child to remain in remote learning, or you want to switch to just say the virtual academy, that is the only time you want to call the school to let us know that, so we can help to assist you to opt out. So thank you for the parent that put that in there. Yes. Other than that, it will automatically default your child to coming here 2 days a week and then 2 at home, which is the hybrid model. So if you want your kid to stay in what they're in right now, meaning remote, you must call the school, give us your email in order for us, which they call us opt out, in order to do that for you. And I think one of our classroom teachers did respond. Okay. And if you can't get through to the school, but I'm not sure why, but you can always tell the classroom teacher that your child is with right now, or just prior to the March 19th date, and we can also make that adjustment as well. And Mr. Brown did put in here the link, the smart link in there. Yeah, so one question that I have here, and thank you, parent, for bringing this up in regards to our intervention specialist. So those teachers' names that I said, that those classrooms, those kids come on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. They're here full time, those specific classrooms. If your child is receiving what we call as pull-out services, any information that's in that child's IEP, when they are physically here inside the building, we are going to try to get all of their minutes that are in that IEP. So if it says, for example, 150 minutes of ELA, so then they would definitely be with that teacher for 150 minutes of in-person with their teacher. Now, can those minutes go over? Yes, because we want kids to be as successful as possible. But first, we must meet the amount of time that is stated in that IEP. And remember, still, the process is the same. If you need, if you have concerns about the IEP goals that are in there, if you feel the IEP is not working for your child, you can always request an IEP review. So I hope that that answered the question about the intervention teacher and how would they receive support with their intervention teacher. The 9th through 12th, when is orientation for 9th? That is on for our high school parents. Your orientation for your high school student is on Thursday. That principal should be sending out a link or posting on their social media what dates and times, and well, not dates, because Thursday, all high schools for CMSD, their orientation is on Thursday. But in regards to the link, then you need to get that from the school. Okay, so will we get a free computer for kids in need? I'm not for sure we say a free computer, because right now all kids have one-to-one devices. So that would be the device that that was signed out by the parent for the student, and that would be the one that would bring back and forth to school. So we can bring back phones and tablets. The only thing that you should be bringing is your computer. If you're in 5th through 8th grade, remember you have the VILS iPad, but every student in this building has been assigned technology. So I think that answers that question. All right, so I've answered all the questions in the chat at this time. I would like, if there's other questions that people may have, you can unmute. And if we can answer that question directly, or we need to talk to you privately, we can do that as well. So we have all of our grade level teachers for our pre-K through 4th grade on the screen at this time. But I just want to remind you that families will, as well as Encore, teachers will be contacting you Thursday to say your child is to report to school on this for phase 2. Okay, we'll call you and say your child is to come to Miles Park on Monday and Tuesday, and remote Thursday, Friday. I'm the teacher that will be working with you, or we are the team of teachers that will be working with your baby. For our students that are coming on Friday, they will be calling you tomorrow to let you know. And if they didn't get to talk to you, they will remind you on Thursday. All right, so anybody can, take off. You can unmute yourself if you have questions for us. I see I have some of my babies on here too. None of my other kids on here. My Miles Park Hornets. Do you have any questions, Ms. Hodge? Do you have any questions? Okay, just excited about coming back. Ms. Austin, do you have any other questions? Did I answer your questions? Okay. Well, if we don't have any other questions, and if you need to speak to me in private, that's not a problem as well. Lil Bell, Ms. Lil Bell, do you have any questions for Ms. Ivory? Huh? Huh? No? No? Okay, well, I just wanted to make sure that we had the opportunity to answer any of the questions that you guys may have. We will, this has been recorded. We will post this so that you need to kind of just take your time. But one thing I do want to show you before we go, Mr. Brown, can you show all of the families where they can actually go on that CMSD website so that they can see exactly where they can locate the information if I left anything off, or they just want to kind of just get a little bit more clarity based on what the district is saying should be taking place, and maybe their child is coming home when they're in person or even in remote and says, this is not what I'm getting, mom or dad or grandma, auntie. that you know exactly where to locate this information. So this is right on the CMSD website, okay? And there's a parent guide there that gives you all of your rights as a parent up under the hybrid learn, as well as, even though I know we're talking about hybrid, because this is another means of another learning plan. I guess that's a good way to put it. But I just wanted you to be able to see, you also can see this information. You just don't have to go off of what Miss Ivory is saying, because this is all universal, whether if you're at the elementary buildings or if you're at the high school. This here is a tour that you can actually look at one of our CMSD schools to show kind of the COVID protocols that are put into place.
CMSD students may be excited to return to the school buildings, but when they do, they will look and feel different. CMSD is following the health and safety guidelines from the state, county, city, as well as local hospitals to guard against the spread of COVID-19 while students are.
Okay. And so, you know, just like you see her putting on a mask, you'll have to have on a mask here. On the left-hand side, it gives you all the different links that talk about what happens with attendance, athletics. If you go down just a little bit for me, Mr. Brown, the dashboard, if you want to see if one of our schools or something like that has a outbreak or something in regards to COVID, the vaccinations that, you know, well, they're not going to put the teacher's name on there if you wanted to know, well, did my child's teacher get vaccinated? They're not going to do that. But overall, you'll be able to see here so that you can monitor that as well if you have concerns about that. But right there on that left-hand side that he just went over with you. And oh, thank you for showing this. This shows for the school, have we had any cases since the beginning of the school year? Do we have anybody that have been sick or anything like that since and remember, this is since the beginning of the school year, so we're talking about like September. So to me, this is like phenomenal. That means our teachers have done a phenomenal job to make sure that they have followed all COVID protocols like that. Okay. If we can just click back to two, I think it was 2 slides. One more for me. Okay, so this is kind of like the checklist. Like I said, everything on the left-hand side will provide even more clarity for you if I didn't go over something, you know, with you today, or maybe even when you speak with your classroom teacher, your child's classroom teacher, because there's a parent checklist. Can you click on that for me? And this tells you specifically, and I also put that on my IVR message, which is kind of like an email. But if you had not received it, this is the parent checklist to tell you how to prepare for hybrid learning. And it also, just in case you didn't get an opportunity to write down the phase-in schedule, there is also the phase-in schedule that Ms. Ivory talked about too, right here on the left-hand side as well, that you can look at that. And they have a video. It says how the hybrid plan works. If you click that on that link, parent, you'll be able to see the video to tell you just a little bit more about what will be taking place in more detail. But they do have the phase-in calendar on this same screen as well, so that you would be able to see what phase do I go in. I guess that's a good, and what happens on those days when the teacher is getting like professional development, those independent Wednesdays, and so on, as they get ready to open up the school building for you. But everything's going to move it's going to move pretty fast. So just please make sure you know what phase your child comes. They come on their designated day, and we'll work together and make this happen. We may remote work. We're going to make this work as well. There's just a plus. We get to see these babies in person for those that can. If those that can't, I understand there's no penalty or anything like that, because we're still going to provide the best quality education, because I have a phenomenal staff. So just please keep that in mind. All right. At this time, unless I have any teachers that would like to say anything at this time, we're going to, oh, I think I have a new chat question. No. Okay. Please make sure. Well, sorry. Teachers, did you have anything? Did anybody want to state anything or? Okay. All right. So at this time, we're going to go ahead and conclude our meeting. I appreciate everybody that has been on today, especially my staff, my families, my students. I look forward to seeing you for phase 2 on Monday, for those that come in on Monday, March 15th. For my students in phase 1, I look forward to seeing you this Friday, March 12th, which begins promptly at 8 a.m. School buildings open at 8 a.m. So kids need to be in their designated line at 8 a.m. in front of Miles Park School. Okay, so the teachers will be calling you once again on Thursday, follow up with you on Friday. And I would like you to have a wonderful, wonderful day. Enjoy this weather. I got a baby, so do go school. So the teacher is Miss Hodge. The teacher is going to call you and tell you which day, if your parent wants you to stay in hybrid, meaning that she did not opt you out, she will call you and say which day that you're supposed to come to school. Either you'll be coming to school on that Monday, Tuesday, or you'll be coming to school on Thursday and Friday. Okay, but your group, because you're in 4th grade, right? I believe it was 4th grade. Yes. So is that right? 4th grade? Take yourself off mute. Okay. So in 4th grade, remember, you guys don't come until March 22nd. So you got a couple more weeks still in remote. So until your phase, meaning like phase 1 starts on Friday, everybody else is still in remote until it's your phase in time. Okay. Do you understand that? Okay. Gotcha. All right. Have a wonderful day, everybody. And I will talk to everyone soon. Thank you.